Hello, and thank you for having me today to present. My name is Rachel Simpson, and I'm the Project Officer for Student Mental Health at Glasgow Caledonian University, and my showreel session is focusing on the different ways in which we communicate our support to our students and staff. To begin the presentation, I wanted to first outline our approach to supporting our students and staff, and to give a brief overview of the different areas of support that we provide. At GCU, we have a vision statement for health and wellbeing which shapes our thinking and our approach to supporting our community through our whole institutional approach. This vision is, as a university of the common good, Glasgow Caledonian University is committed to a culture of positive mental health which enables students and staff to thrive and achieve their full potential. We will proactively support the mental health and wellbeing of our people and promote a healthy learning and work environment. To give a brief overview of the current support provisions for students and staff, I would divide this into 5 main overarching themes, with the first being structural support. Under this section, I would class support provisions such as the Student Counselling Service, PAM Assist, which is counselling support for staff, disability teams, student wellbeing and mental health advisors, support provided by People Services, Together All, and more. Secondly would be holistic wellbeing approaches to support. These would be things such as wellbeing projects, providing free mindfulness courses for staff and students, wellbeing workshops, peer support programs, and embedding training for staff and students on mental health and wellbeing. Third would be having a suite of different policies to enhance and support students and staff wellbeing. And fourth would be representation for staff and students on mental health and wellbeing. At GCU, both staff and students have representation for their health and wellbeing through a variety of different roles. The Assistant Vice Principal for Health and Wellbeing within the university, alongside various other staff roles, aim to represent wellbeing for staff and students. There's also a dedicated Student Mental Health Officer at our Students' Association. Finally, we also have a range of strategic approaches towards enhancing staff and student mental health and wellbeing. This includes undertaking various accreditations, such as Think Positive mental health agreements, and we have a Mental Health at Work Task Force and Action Plan, which aims to enhance the support provisions and the health and wellbeing of our staff. We also have a Student Wellbeing Advisory Group and a Student Mental Health Action Plan, which aims to achieve the same for our students. These groups naturally intertwine and work in partnership and collaboration of our whole institutional approach, and also work towards GCU's aims of aligning to other frameworks, such as Step Change's Mentally Healthy Universities framework. We've also recently worked with Student Minds on their University Mental Health Charter accreditation pilot. So how do we work to enhance the awareness of these provisions to our staff and students? So first, we work through our already existing communication channels for our staff and students by engaging with our communications department. We also have a dedicated student comms team, and these teams can help us get messages out to our staff and students about their mental health and wellbeing. This can include upcoming events, structural support provisions, webinars, and more. Secondly, we work to have a presence in social media, and this can be through things like our GCU Wellbeing Instagram or Twitter and our Facebook. We host a weekly wellbeing newsletter for our students and staff, and in this newsletter they can find upcoming information on different things that our service is providing alongside local, internal and external support. We have a dedicated staff intranet section in our staff web pages, and we also have a dedicated student wellbeing section on our external pages as well. And we also have a space on our VLE platform for student and staff wellbeing. Finally, we also host specific webinars to educate individuals on the specific support provisions that's available both internally and externally. And we ensure that these communications are reflective of our whole institutional, whole community approach. We believe it's important to engage with our community with these communication approaches and that they're led by our students and staff. And I'll provide some examples of this later in this presentation. We look to engage throughout the academic year on the topic of wellbeing and mental health with our staff and students, as this can help the structural services remain visible and support visible as well. Examples of ways that we engage with our student and staff communities and what these communications are can be things such as the visibility of your structural support provisions, hosting consultation events on how mental health and wellbeing support can be enhanced. For example, in the past, GCU have done a student summit event on the topic of mental health, and we've also done consultations during National Mental Health Days, such as University Mental Health Day, World Mental Health Day and more. Speaking of mental health days, by having activities both on campus or more recently online, for these mental health days to help engage staff and students with their mental health and wellbeing. And having your team and your student services team present at events that are on campus or events that are ongoing, where students and staff can engage with them for further information, for example, freshers. We also provide support which can contextualise to a range of student and staff experiences, so it's important that this is also reflected in your communications. I'm going to provide a few examples of ways that we've contextualised our communications for different student groups and how this has been tailored. The first example is our accommodation. So at the beginning of lockdown, we undertook some consultation to understand the needs of our students and how we could best support them. From this, we've established wraparound support, and to engage our student community with this, we implemented a range of different processes. Firstly would be a tailored newsletter and tailored web pages for the students specifically at Caledonian Court. And this was complemented by a brand new platform on our VLE, which was a community specifically for students at Caledonian Court. We also introduced a staff buddy system, and following the success, moving into the next trimester, we're continuing to offer the VLE and our staff buddy system for students that are undertaking quarantine self-isolation. In regards to our student graduates, this was identified in our Student Mental Health Action Plan as a priority action from May 2020. We've worked with our Careers Department to embed this into our 2020 Graduate Employment Guide, and GC also has an Alumni Department which we've worked with to maintain communication with our students and a dedicated network through the GCU Connect network. Finally, a third example is through our parents and carers. So we've recently produced a guide from the Student Wellbeing Service which looks at specific support students can access through the context of parents and carers. This support is then put on specific web pages, and we've hosted webinars with our student wellbeing team to answer the questions of parents and carers. The aim of this is that parents and carers will be more knowledgeable of the support available to students and can help with referral if necessary. Moving forward, we're looking to develop a centralised spot on our web pages which can help host all the information that I've just spoken about. This is still under development, but we're aiming to call it our mental health framework. This is to help educate anyone in our whole community approach and our cross-directorate approach to supporting student and staff mental health, and also the breadth of support that we provide to our students and staff on their health and wellbeing. This can be anything from our structural provisions, as I mentioned, like counselling, or it could be like our projects that we're undertaking, upcoming consultation events, webinars and more. Continuing to move forward, we've been working with our students on a student-led community mental health campaign. The aim of this campaign is to enhance our engagement, raise awareness, tackle mental health stigma, and to work together to engage people in their mental health and wellbeing. The campaign is themed our community and has a number of different messages, such as our community cares, our community listens, our community supports, and more. It's currently under further development and has been contextualised for messaging in relation to COVID-19. This is building on other campaigns which GC have successfully done with student-led campaigns, such as the Raise the Grey, which has been uptaken by a number of other universities in Police Scotland. We're hoping to launch this campaign soon, but from the screen you can see a number of different illustrations and you can see the students' process and how they've developed this campaign. So some key outcomes from increased and effective communication with staff and students can be seen in increased disclosures and use of your services for students and staff, an increased number of contributions to strategic action plans, both for your students and staff and from your students and staff, increased attendance at wellbeing events and workshops, and a higher visibility on campus of mental health and wellbeing and the support services available. Finally, a greater understanding of which services students and staff are requesting and accessing, so that institutions themselves can tailor their services to meet the needs to support their diverse student and staff communities. So thank you very much for engaging with my showreel video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at rachel.simpson@gcu.ac.uk. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the conference.